Walking past a river such as the Lean here in central Nottingham, you might think that it's lifeless, but you'd be wrong. So I'm basically using a pole cam here. I've got a little camera on the end, unsurprisingly, of a pole, and this is attached to a monitor, so I get a little sneak preview of what's happening under the water. And what we're noticing is that lots of small fish going by, and these are dace, so these are small silvery. There's one just gone by. Oh, there we go, loads of them. Fantastic. Look at those guys. These are actually quite big dace. They're not very large fish. I mean, about £1's a big one. But there's absolutely stuff for them in this little river. And again, people just walk by, they wouldn't even notice them, and it's fantastic to see these fish in here. This is the white-clawed crayfish, our only native species in the UK. And they're a sure sign of healthy and clean waterways. But they're under threat from a non-native species, the American signal crayfish. These alien marauders carry a fungus which is lethal to the native crayfish. So it's vitally important that when you move from one river to another, that you check your gear, you clean it and you dry it, so not to spread disease on non-native species. So why are these birds here? Well, there's less predators. In the day, there's kebabs, chips, all you can eat buffet of food, but the main reason is that it's warmer, up to a few degrees warmer than the surrounding countryside. This is crucial for small birds, which, as you think, going to lose a lot of body heat in the winter nights. So there's 200 to 300 birds in this tree, but it's amazing how many people don't notice them as they walk by. To keep things in check, there's a strict pecking order. This means the more dominant birds are at the top of the tree and the less dominant birds are at the bottom. Now, of course, as gravity falls, so do the droppings, and the more dominant birds poo on the less dominant birds. So it's much better to be at the top, and the poor ones at the bottom have a bit of a bad night. So this is a ringneck parakeet. These are a non-native bird that were introduced to the UK around the 1950s. Some think off the set of The African Queen, while others think Jimi Hendrix did it in the 60s, which is my personal favourite. Although they're quite innocent looking, they have got a darker side, and they'll push out other birds, native birds, for nesting holes, and also for food. As you can see, they're quite greedy. So I've got the male and the female now, and this is a great opportunity to tell the difference between them. The male's slightly more vivid, and obviously you think birds see in ultraviolet, so the more vivid colour he has, the more attractive he is to a mate. He also has that black ring neck, which gives them the name ringneck parakeets. I can see a common frog just chilling out in the shade.
I can see he's poking his little head out there.
Yeah. I got him. Ah, he got away.
Ah.
Got away. More
too slow.
wily. I am too slow. Sorry I've let the side down.
I know, I'm very disappointed.
Okay, let's keep going. We might get another one.
Yeah, let's have another look.
They seem to have wised up to the net a little bit, so I'm going to use my hands now. They're already wet, so shouldn't damage the frog too much. This is years of netting as a child coming into play now. So I'm just going to go really slowly. He's not going anywhere. Not going anywhere. Got ya.
Wow, that was impressive.
Like
it was.
So this is a common frog.
Wow. Hello, little dude.
There are actually two species of loach in the country. You've got the stone loach, which are fairly common on small gravelly streams, and then the spine loach, which is slightly smaller. And oh, right on cue, there's a little guy. Okay, we'll just put him in the tank. There we go. So you might wonder why I'd get so excited over just such a small fish. But it's interesting, on such a large reserve like this, these fish were only recorded last year by myself, and that was more of a fluke just netting around. And reserves can have all kinds of hidden treasures such as these, if you just look for them. Well, just going to show all the food that these trout have got is a collection of caddisfly larvae. Yeah, they make themselves a little cocoon out of debris, and it's to deter the trout from eating them.
There's so much life in there. If you just stop still for a second and really look at your surroundings, you just see it crawling with life, don't you?
Well, it's amazing. These trout have got a smorgasbord of food living in here.